all.
Lovely chap. Hold on. It says bring them on camera. Adding an invitation anytime soon, and to Martin, because Martin is our chief publisher, my husband, and there is Mike. Wonderful. Oh my God, it worked. I'm going to pass out.
How you doing? I'm not sure where I should be looking. Hi, how you doing?
Oh, splendid, thank you. More splendid now I know you're here, safe and sound. Because, I've been reading all about you on
Can you two guys scoot closer together?
Sure.
Yeah, scoot in next to the mother-in-law. There you go. Fantastic.
Mike, you must be at least 300 years old.
Move right.
With all these bands that you've been related to. I mean, I Googled and Wikipedia'd you, and oh gosh, you've been... Move to your left hand. Yes, oh, to my left.
Yes, because I can't get all three of you in. There you are. Fabulous.
So, I mean, how many bands have you been related to? Martin knows more about it than I do, but I've certainly genned up in the last few days. But, Martin.
I have a list.
Talk to me.
I think I've been in 25 different bands now at this point.
That's amazing.
And currently juggling 6 at the moment. It's crazy. I'm just a musicaholic, a drumaholic.
Wow.
Hey, let me ask you something, Mike. As the publisher of McCartney.com, I get to read all about sorts of Beatles stories and related items. And I hear you had a Beatles tribute band. Is that right? Have you ever met Ringo?
Well, those are 2 great questions. Yes, I have a Beatles tribute band called Yellow Matter Custard, which it kind of happens every, 6 to 8 years or so. We did it once back in 2003. We did a group of shows, and then we did it again in 2011, another group of shows. Didn't repeat a single song. We've done 70 songs between the two.
Wow.
The 2 times now, and we'll probably due for another round in the next couple of years. My dream is to play the Cavern Club with Yellow Matter Custard. That's my dream.
Well, we can make that happen.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, just do a bit of name dropping.
In fact, I think John Keats, who is one of the directors of the Cavern Club, usually tunes in every week. So we'll hook you guys up, no problem.
That's my dream, because we've only done Yellow Matter Custard in America. We've done New York, Chicago, and LA, and we just do it as a one-time fun thing. It's myself and Paul Gilbert, Neal Morse, and Matt Bissonette, who's Greg's brother, did it with us. Yeah. So, we're just all Beatles fanatics, and the set list is deep. It's all the deep cuts,
Wow.
Not the typical Beatle tribute band stuff. We go, we do, My Name, Look Up the Number, or Flying, or,
wow.
think for yourself, all the deep cuts.
Right, cool.
Yeah.
And have you ever met Ringo?
I have met both Ringo and Paul. I mean, those are both 2 great stories.
Do tell.
I'd love to share, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, Ringo I met back in late 90s, one of his all-star band tours, and one of my crew guys was working with Peter Frampton at the time, who was in Ringo's band. So I was invited down to the show, and I went to sound check, and I got to sit behind Ringo's kit. And one of the greatest things about Ringo's kit is he had this really old ride cymbal on the kit, and written with a Sharpie on the cymbal, it said, "Best of luck on the tour, love, Paul." So obviously it was
oh, funny.
But here's the thing that kills me. Wait, let me see if I could bring my camera around here. Okay, I could actually tell the story and then give you the photo payoff.
Cool.
So it was the late 90s. We didn't have digital phones back then, obviously. So my dad was with me, and he's taking all sorts of pictures of me playing Ringo's kit and hanging around. And then Ringo comes over, starts talking to me. I'm introduced to him, and my friend introduces me to Ringo and says, "Oh, this is Mike Portnoy. He just won Drummer of the Year in Modern Drummer magazine." And Ringo was like, "I thought I was Drummer of the Year." and I was like, "No, you're Drummer of the Century." And so anyway, my dad's taking pictures of us talking and stuff, and here's actually a picture of that moment of us hanging around talking.
Oh, wow.
That's me, and that's my friend Mark, who was teching for Peter Frampton. There's Ringo. Wow. And Ringo actually then grabs me. He grabs me to say, "Oh, let's take a proper photo," puts his arm around me for a photo, and then I hear the film rewinding in my camera. You know,
Oh no!
yeah, it was back in the days of film. So
Yeah.
that's the only picture I have of me and Ringo, me and him talking, which is better than nothing. But I still am waiting for that proper posed photo of the two of us.
Well, you have to
But it
get
was
the
amazing.
Bissonette brothers to hook you up.
Well, I've actually gone to see them every couple of years. I'm good friends with Greg, and actually I went to the show a couple of years ago, and Greg actually wore a yellow Matter Custard shirt on during the show on
cool.
stage. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's very cool. Well, we'll have to send you a McCartney.com limited edition shirt.
Please do, please do.
That'd be fantastic.
Hey, I want to ask you something, Mike. As a singer, songwriter myself, produced Geist, which is the band. It's a studio project. I'm a huge fan of John Bonham's. And I'm known as a lead singer to be able to edit the actual drum tracks of John Bonham. Did he have any influence on your style, or Neil Peart, or some of the greats?
Absolutely. Well, the four big ones for me were Ringo, as we've already mentioned,
Sure.
John Bonham, Keith Moon, and Neil Peart. Those are the big four for me. And we talked about my Beatles tribute band. I also did a tribute band to Zeppelin, to Rush, and the Who. Okay. I could take you on the tour through my house.
Do.
Let me show you this. This is my drum room, and it's more like a drum museum.
Okay, you're back. Oh my lordy!
But this is the four tribute bands that I've done. Here are the kits. So actually, here's my Ringo kit.
Wow.
Oh my lord! Oh yeah, look at that.
That's my John Bonham kit. This is my Keith Moon kit, and then that's my Neil Peart kit.
Oh
wow.
Yeah. So for me,
aren't you? Yeah.
Those are the big four for me. Those are my four drum heroes, and I've had the fun of doing tributes to all four of them, and it's been a blast.
That's amazing. So you must be a real favorite of your local drum store, huh?
Oh, fast. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm very fortunate that I have a good reputation in the drum world, and I get all the support I need from Tama drums and Sabian cymbals. They pretty much build me whatever I want, so I haven't had to buy a drum kit in about 35 years, and luckily I have this great support system with all the endorsement companies I work with.
Well, and also you have, I'm stealing one of Angie's questions here. This is Ruth, but you have a store that's like, MikePortnoy.com, your store there. I mean, it rivals any good drum store. You've got a lot of your own stuff. How do you choose, what manufacturers and who passes your sniff test when it comes to endorsing your stuff?
Well, as far as playing my stuff, I have my own signature cymbals with Sabian, my own signature snare drums with Tama, my own signature sticks with ProMark, and those are out on the market and have been for 20-something years. And,
right.
They do well. And I'm fortunate that I've had this great career where, young drummers, pay attention to what I do and like what I do and support what I do. But, that's how I chose what I played. I was playing 30 years ago. I started playing Tama drums because all my favorite drummers played Tama: Stuart Copeland, Neil Peart, Bill Bruford. Same with the sticks. Ringo plays them, Neil Peart. So, most young drummers or musicians gravitate to the instruments that their favorite heroes play, and that's how I picked what I played. And I've been with these companies for 25, 30 years now. Wow. In fact, I have them tattooed on my arm. That's my Tama.
Wow.
My Tama for life tattoo.
That's the ultimate endorsement, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, quick question, Mike. I was always in studios. I was always wondering, for drummers such as yourself, you're a superstar, obviously. What is better for you? Do you prefer studio session or bring out the monster live? Do you have a preference?
I absolutely prefer playing live. I mean, I love. The creative process is great in the studio because that's when you're creating. That's when you could be very meticulous, but you're playing to, four walls. To me, I love the interaction of an audience playing on stage and getting that instant gratification and feedback and interaction. To me, that's way, way more satisfying as a drummer and just as a performer. I'm a performer. So to me, that's my preference.
Okay.
So, Angie, I know you have a ton of Beatley type things to
Yeah,
talk
bring
about.
them on, bring them on.
Last night when they knew you were coming on today and said, if you were to have a face-off of name that tune of the Beatles, who do you think would win? And I wrote back immediately and said, well, I guess he would. Because A, I know you've done it before, you're famous for it, and B, you're a lot younger than I am, so you'd probably remember a lot more. I mean, you know, it's all a bit of a haze to me because it goes back over 50 years. But
Yeah,
as for
I'd
you,
love to. At what point can I
by
start
the way,
interviewing
may
you?
I say, I love the little purpley blue beard bit.
Oh, thank you.
I posted a picture last night on my Facebook page and said, guess who's coming to TeaFlix? And somebody in Germany, my friend Sabina in Munich, wrote back immediately and said, Jesus.
That's better than Satan.
If he can walk on water.
Yeah.
Hey, so tell us about your upcoming tour with Sons of Apollo. I believe it comes on later this month.
Yeah, this is one of my latest bands, and it's an amazing band, and we just finished a U.S. tour for the last 2 months, and we leave next week for Europe, and we'll be there all summer and all throughout the fall, hitting every nook and cranny throughout Europe and the UK, and doing a lot of the summer festivals, which is always fun. And yeah, it's a great band, and that's kind of what I'm focused on at the moment. Amongst, you know, the 6 that I juggle, that's the one I'm focused on at the moment.
Don't say you're a juggler as well.
Yeah.
You were just officially dubbed Clever Ass by Dr. McCartney. That's nice.
Oh, really?
Classy. High class.
Hey, we mentioned the Name That Tune thing. For anybody out there that hasn't seen this or doesn't know what we're talking about, my Yellow Matter Custard bandmate, Neal Morse, he and I did a couple of Beatles Name That tunes. And it's worth checking out, just Google it on YouTube or whatever, but it's hilarious. I could pretty much take anybody down in a quarter of a note, a quarter of a second. The very last one we did, the very last one was Penny Lane, and I actually took them down before the downbeat even begins. Oh. There's a bass note before the song even starts, and I got it on that.
Oh my good! You know what? That'd actually be a great TV show series concept, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'll accept challenges from anybody in the world.
All right, we'll sign if we get that sold to Netflix. We'll sign you up. You'll be our first challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
While we still have you, do you have a favorite Beatles story, or maybe a tattoo you'd like to share?
Or a song that you
want to see it?
Oh, guys, I could do this.
Tattoos.
I could do this all day. Well, my entire right leg is dedicated to the Beatles. So let's.
Really?
I've heard of people giving that. Oh, look at that, baby!
It's all Sgt. Pepper and Yellow Submarine artwork.
Oh, lovely!
Amazing.
And of course, I'm wearing Beatles. I'm wearing Beatles socks.
I want a picture of
nice,
that. Yes.
Nice.
Oh, my lord!
This is not a show for you. I didn't dress this way because I'm coming in the air with you. This is me every day. Yeah. I mean, I'm wearing Paul's shirt. I'm drinking out of a Beatles mug.
Oh, nice.
And like I said, this is me every day. This is not me putting on a show.
Well, we're going to send you some Mrs. McCartney's teas to put in that Beatle mug, so don't you worry about that.
Excellent.
Well, Star Rescue, which a lot of singers like because it soothes their vocal cords. So whether you want to drink it or maybe you'd rather have some wine in that cup, I'll send you a drop of both.
You can call Miles Kennedy from Alter Bridge. He will confirm the real value of the tea.
Excellent.
Singers.
Well, I want to tell you my favorite Paul story.
Go right ahead.
Please do.
Okay. Well, it starts back in '65. My parents saw the Beatles at Shea Stadium, and my mom, bless her soul, she passed away in '84. But before she passed away, one of her favorite stories was how at Shea Stadium, Paul looked at her and winked at her on his way to the stage, and she was convinced that Paul scouted her out amongst 50,000 people and looked at her and winked at her. And I always said to my mom, I was like, yeah, he probably did that to 1,000 ladies that night. But anyway, flash forward a couple of years ago, I finally got to meet Paul. I had never met him before, and it was like my life goal to meet him. And I got to say, he was unbelievable. I would have been happy with a 5-second handshake and thank you, Sir Paul, and thank you and good night. But he actually stood there with me and my daughter for about 15 minutes, engaging me in conversation. I don't think he had any idea who I was, but he was incredible. He was like just the dream meeting I could have ever wanted.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's the punchline to the story. So myself and Paul and my daughter Melody are standing around in a circle, just chit-chatting and talking. And at one point, Paul looks my daughter dead in the eye, gives her a big wink and a big smile. And then I said to my daughter, now that was a real wink and a smile. Yeah.
Well, she got it for her grandma, huh?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Exactly.
Yeah, we used to get a lot of fan mail to the house. We used to help my de facto Aunt Frida Kelly sort the fan mail out. And we'd get letters from girls saying, I know you saw me at Shea Stadium. I was in row 154, seat 32 in a yellow cardigan, and you smiled at me.
Yeah. And one was probably from my mom.
We probably did have a letter, and I'm willing to bet she got a reply, because Ange and mainly Frida Kelly. There's a movie, I don't know if you've seen it, a documentary called Good Old Frida.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Angie's in it, and she talks about how 3 years after the Beatle fan club wound up, she spent time, she replied to every single fan.
Wow. That's
So
incredible.
if you don't like the tea, we also have Mrs. McCartney's Blackberry Wine.
Blackbird.
Wow.
Which is dedicated to the Blackbird story.
Yeah, that's great.
Do you want to?
Well, send it along, man. That would be awesome. Thank you so much.
Do you want to tell? Do you want Dr. Angie to tell you one of her Beatle stories?
Absolutely. I was waiting to turn around and hear your stories.
Yeah, well, my mum was elderly and she'd been ill. She lived across the other side of the River Mersey, and Paul said, bring her over to stay with us.
There you go.
And so she could, my sister who cared for her could have a bit of rest. So we brought Mum, and she stayed in the back bedroom at Rembrandt, which is the house that Paul had bought for his dad. And one night, Paul drove up from London up to us for a bit of a break, as he used to, after being in the studio for hours. And he came in, and we were all fast asleep. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. No, it was 11 o'clock at night when he first got there. And he went into my mum's bedroom and knocked on the door, and he said, are you awake, Edie? And she said, well, I am now. So he just wanted someone to talk to him, to unwind, And he said, well, how do you sleep? And she said, oh, not bad, but when I can't sleep, I listen to that blackbird. And he said, what blackbird? And she said, oh, there's a blackbird out in the garden. It sings about midnight every night.
Wow.
So he went downstairs, and he got his brother Mike's Grundig tape recorder. It was one of those big old clunky green reel-to-reel things. Stuck it on the end of the bed, opened the window, and sat with my mum until on cue the blackbird began to sing. And he actually recorded it and kept the tape. And whether it's the real one he uses on the recording, I'm not sure. Probably not. But at I've got a cassette tape of Paul in the studio saying, this next one's for Edie. It's called Blackbird. So that really tickles me to death. When I hear it, I think, oh, that was for my mum.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The stories on the wine label. So when you get your bottle of Blackbird, you'll be able to thrill and amaze your friends poolside with a cocktail.
That was the first time I saw Paul was on the Wings Over America tour in '76. I was 9 years old, and that was one of the Beatles songs that he did in the set on that tour. He only did, I think, 3 or 4 of them, but that was one of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's embraced that a lot more since.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. His set lists these days are incredible. I mean, he's better than ever. I've seen him all through the years, starting in the '70s, but I think he's actually better than ever these days. He does these 3-hour shows. He sings perfectly. He's got the stamina, and the set list is deep. He's got, he's doing some of George's and John's songs, and the band is incredible. I mean, he's in top shape these days. It's incredible.
I know, it's funny. Some nights when we all say like, oh, is it movie night? We all tuck in, sit under our, we don't have a Sons of Anarchy blanket like you do, but we sit under our blankies and watch a movie. And we're like, oh, where's Paul tonight? Oh, well, it's not my day to watch him, but I think he's in Baltimore. He's the oldest McCartney staying up past 7 o'clock,
Yeah. I don't know how he does it. I mean, he's up there 3 hours.
Just physically,
Incredible.
At that age, it's amazing.
Oh, and last weekend in Liverpool, he and James Corden, they just took everybody by surprise. They managed to keep it really stealth until they did it on Saturday morning. And the fans and the people in the pubs and all the local places, they were thrilled to bits, and he was full of beans, thoroughly enjoying it. And he's in his 70s.
Well, you're nearly 89.
I'm nearly 89. But
wow, incredible.
Still
rocking.
The music and the wonderful friends and people.
God bless you. That's awesome.
Yourself included. Yeah.
So Sons of Apollo are nominated for an award. Where can the fans go and vote on that? I think
I voted.
I
Yeah,
voted
it's,
too.
actually that just got announced yesterday. It's the Progressive Music Awards, which takes place every September in London, and I've gone the last couple of years, and I've been fortunate enough to win a few awards from them. Some of them are over there, but yeah, we got nominated for Best International Band of the Year, as we're a brand new band, so it's nice to get that attention. I don't remember offhand, but I guess the link is probably on my Facebook page, so
we'll
fans
post
can
it
go
to
check
you.
that out.
Yeah, because that's what people look for these days, is the whole social media fan groundswell.
Yeah, absolutely.
It speaks louder than words.
It's wonderful how we can all keep in touch. Well, it's getting almost midday, and I think we have to move because we've got things to do and
places to go and wine to drink.
And wine to drink. It's lunchtime here, you know.
Let me show you my little Beatles cabinet here.
Oh, look at the Beatles cabinet. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Hey, follow that over my shoulder.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty hardcore, I'm telling you.
So listen, thanks a million, Mike. This has been fabulous, and I know
it's been my pleasure. Thank you.
In. So it's just great for them to be able to see you literally in living color. So it means to me so much to be, still living. So listen, Ruthie, baby.
Yeah, I want to pop in and say hi and bye
to get my little daughter on the screen to see you.
Thank you so very much. It's been
Thank you.
Usually we end the broadcast with a ditty, but we won't try and do it.
No, we couldn't follow you. No, indeed not.
I bet you I can name that. I bet you I can name that ditty in one note.
So we'll just finish with a jingle instead. Okay, with We're McCartney's. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Thank you.
Really
pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
See you guys very soon.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Rock on. Fabulous.
Yeah.
What a wonderful man.
Isn't he lovely? Yes.